triple. He just get a kill on his own teammate, but it doesn't really matter right now. Jones just still going. He finds 3 as well.
Might do the smoke and finds 2. That might just be a free use find. It's disgusting from Dragons. Lovely stuff from Sergio.
Oh my god.
Saki, TJ and Breaker, you'll go back to the respawn.
Oh my god, Breaker finds 3.
TJ just finds 3 massive kills for his team.
Hi guys, welcome back to the EU Gears Pro League. My name is Tun. I'm here with Fru. First series of the day was Elevate against Obey Alliance. A comfortable, in the end, just about win for Elevate there, 2-0 against Obey Alliance. There was Elevate continue to improve as time has run on. You know, they just look so comfortable every single week. Outside of the game against Rated R that they did lose, they have looked very, very solid. Super interested to see how that game goes later on in the quarter. But right now, we do have Rated R taking on Regal Reserve, and this is one that we've been looking forward to, Fru. I think you're muted, Fru. I think you're muted in the...
Hello?
There we go, mate. Yeah, go on. Try again.
Should we start again? All right.
Go again.
Throw me the question, Chris.
I just said we're looking forward to this game. It wasn't really a question. It was a statement.
What are your thoughts, Fru? Well, my thoughts are, and this time around with sound, that it's going to be a fantastic game. Last time around, we had a very, very close game, and it went right to the wire. We had some different maps, a 5-1 of Ascar, but the rest of the maps were 5-4, 5-4, and Regal Reserve, they showed up in it. They really took Rated R right to the wire. They could have won it. In the end, Rated R clutched up and came back and won 2-1, but it was a really good series, potentially one of the best we've seen so far, and if this is anything like that one, we're going to have a fantastic time.
And I think, when we cast the series last time around, we were honestly expecting, because it was off the back of Regal Reserve having a really close game with Obey, going up against Rated R, we were sort of like, well, actually... not quite sure if Regal have much of a chance in this. Rated R look really, really good. But let's talk about Rated R. They're currently top. They're currently undefeated. A lot of people have been questioning, are these the team to overtake Elevate as the best team in Europe? Right now, on form, I would say they are. But I feel as if to knock Elevate off that spot, we talked about this quite a number of times, you need to be consistently the best. You can't just come in there, win in a couple of weeks, and sort of say, yeah, okay, we're the best in Europe. Right now, form-wise, yes, but... that coveted title of best team in Europe isn't quite theirs yet. We'll see at the end of this season, but right now they're looking really good.
Yeah, I mean, they get the opportunity to solidify that title in the very last week of this quarter. It's going to be the last game we see, and it will probably decide who finishes top. So, look forward to that week 6, that's for sure. But yeah, for now, they've got to get through Regal Reserve again. Regal Reserve took them to the wire, and they've been the strongest team against them, in my opinion, so far. And, with that new look roster coming in this quarter, I wouldn't put it out of Regal's, wheelhouse essentially to be able to beat them here. But yes, Rated R looking fantastic. We'll look to continue their dominance today.
Yeah, let's see if they can continue to do that. And they're just such an impressive team. Ever since Marsh has come in, they look fantastic, and he is got to take a lot of credit for that. This team has a lot of raw talent, and the fact that he's been able to nurture it a little bit as time has went on has definitely improved them.
I think we should mention strikers as well, because that was part of that trade, right? That was part of that roster change. We saw Marsh and strikers come in at the same time. Strikers coming from Regal Reserve, actually. And what a move that has been for him. Yeah. He's only looked better since he's moved to Rated R. He's been a very, very influential figure. I mean, a lot of the times you see a roster trade and you kind of see that fifth member come in and kind of be the quiet one, right? They're filling a role. They don't really kind of step out and show us their real form until maybe the next quarter. But this time around, Strikers has come in and started with a bang and looks fantastic. And yeah, as you said, with Marsh's experience, they've been able to mold a very, very good team here. And it's really good to see that we've got a kind of 1-2 at the top of Europe where realistically, we don't know which way it's going.
No, we don't. And I think we'll have a lot of questions answered by the end of the quarter, of course. So we've got a couple more weeks to go. But let's talk about Regal Reserve. They're a team that seem to lack a little bit of leadership. Reaction comes in and they just seem to be a little bit of a different beast. Last season, we argued that they were possibly a worse team than Obey. But yes, okay, they were getting maps. But when they were getting beat really, really badly. However, right now, they're looking pretty good. Yes, okay, they lost last week to Elevate. And it was relatively close at times. But in the end, a vintage Elevate performance, but against Rated R last time around, as he said, it was a very, very close game. If they can get things going here, get a win up against Rated R, then, I don't want to say the sky's the limit, but things could be looking a lot better. And I've got to say, I feel as if Reaction has been the reason that some of these things have changed for this team. But as we said last week, and this is not the bash on Reader, even if he's in the chat, he didn't have a good time with things last season whatsoever. Wasn't making kills. If Reaction could just do even a little bit better than that, then they're looking fairly solid. But he's got to be a big reason as to why this team's doing a lot better.
He I don't know what it is, but he seems to have activated the Spanish as well, which is
He's activated the Spanish.
Yeah, like not for himself, but for Fractures and Cougars' sakes. They've been playing a lot better since Jack's been back in this team. So whether that's just a conflict of styles between the Spanish players and the French players on that roster, and now Jack's sat right in the middle of the two kind of duos, and it's no longer a 3 and a 2. Maybe there's some change in the dynamic of the team there as well. But quite honestly, since he's come in, the Spanish players, Cougars and Fractures have been looking fantastic. Physics and Zorkos always looking strong, right? But Physics on that Vascar game just looked amazing. Some fantastic clips. A triple snipe back to back to back was one of the best things we've seen come out of the European Pro League so far. Yeah. And Jack himself has had very competent games. I think we'll mention it more in the head-to-head later. Didn't have the best week last week, but
no.
The other 2 weeks, he definitely did look good. And look like a solid addition to the team as well. So, I think Regal Reserve also going through strength to strength.
When he's putting up decent numbers, they look a very, very good team. Last week he didn't, and they struggled. So let's see if they can do this against Rated R. Let's have a look at how things did break down last time these two teams played. 2-1 was the score to Rated R. It was very, very close, though. Of course, Vasgar going up towards Regal fairly convincingly, then 5-4, 5-4. Got a feel for Regal in that series. One round either here or there, and they win this one. 2-0 or 2-1. It's a tough one to take, but across the board, fairly even slaying wise. I mean, if you were to point out any outliers, it would be Jack at 1.58 there, but other than that, fairly even across the board.
Yeah, you got to look at that Vascar as something that perhaps Rated R will ban out this time around.
I would like to think so.
Yeah, Regal looked very, very good on it. And they really did. They picked that first. It wasn't banned out, obviously, and they came through and dominated on it, and it really was a good performance. So I expect to see that one gone. But the bunker side of things, it was very, very close. And actually, Regal, they had the upper hand, didn't they? They were 4-3 up at one point. So a little bit more composure on that map, and they'd have been able to secure it and maybe walk away 2-0. And Exhibit, again, very, very close. Rounds traded back and forth all the way up to that round 9. And in the end, Rated R took it. Luckily for them. But Regal will want, both those last two maps back for sure. And the stats, as you can see, are very, very close. It was a very, very close series.
Yeah, it could be a completely different story for Regal Reserve. For Rated R, they wouldn't be undefeated. Regal Reserve would be probably in second because of the win-loss. It would be very, very different. But as it is right now, Rated R are top. They are undefeated. But can Regal Reserve hand them their first loss? Let's have a look at the picks and bans. I do believe we do have them ready. Let's have a look. Vasgar ban. Rated R. No surprises to see. Exhibit then gone as well. So that was the map that Rated R won last time in map number 3. Icebound District and Asylum is what we're going to be playing. So completely different. As far as I'm aware. So no bunker, no exhibit, no Vasgar. So completely different set of maps, which is great to see. We will. It doesn't help our predictions by any stretch of the imagination. But Icebound in there for one of the first times. We haven't seen Icebound a lot this season at all.
Yeah, I'm having a quick look. I'm just looking away because I've got the picks and bans from the last series up as well, and I'm trying to compare them as the game goes on. Obviously that Icebound pick's quite an interesting one coming in. That was it was a second round ban for Regal last time around, so a little bit lower priority for them. But we see Regal picking it up this time around. That's definitely quite an interesting switch there. District obviously coming through. We did see that banned out again by Regal last time in that first round. So 2 maps that Regal banned in this pick in that first phase. Definitely an interesting one and definitely Rated R in the benefit there, I think, if you look at it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Training grounds going, as you said, for Rated R. That's been banned 50% of the time for them. So when they get the chance, it pretty much is going. So no surprises to see that gone. But very much catering towards these teams. Very much catering towards the opposite team. But it's hard to say. It is hard to say. I honestly, I think we go to a map number 3. I think it'd be rude not to. In all honesty, I think at the series we've seen last time, I think we're heading to map number 3. But what are we thinking? Go on, give me a prediction.
2-1. It's got to be a 2-1. I think it's going to go all the way again. And I have to say it's going to go Rated R's way again. They showed composure last time around, even though Regal did have, the better score in terms of rounds across the broader game. It was just about the composure. And in the end of things, Rated R have it. And they're on a different set of maps this time around. There's no prior VOD between these two on these two maps this quarter. So I think we're going to see that round 3, and I think map 3, and I think we are going to see Rated R take it.
The chat's pretty unanimous as well. They're pretty much going with Rated R for the most part by the looks of things. So we'll keep an eye on what they think of these games so far. A lot of you guys in there who are part of the Pro League, so thank you very much for joining us. But of course, let's have a look at our head-to-head. Who we think need to perform for both these two teams. It has to be Reaction. It does. I think he had a poor week last week against Elevate, and he knows that. He tweeted out about it as well. He needs to bring his A game here, I think. Definitely feel that. Marsh is, of course, so influential to this Rated R squad. Sometimes a little bit up and down on the, the elimination front, etc. as well. So if he can step up to that point as well, Rated R should fairly simply win this one. But if he can't perform and Reaction does, this could be an absolute cracker.
It could indeed. Marsh, he had the worst performance out of all members of Rated R last time these two teams matched up. It's someone has to have it, right? But across the board, all 3 maps, Marsh was in the bottom 2, and it's just one of those things that, if he's to play his normal game, Rated R should have this one in the bag. And yeah, you mentioned Reaction. I think we all know his plan. He wants to come out. He wants to prove us wrong. He wants to, get that W on the board and take the series home. But it's on his shoulders now.
It is very much on his shoulders. Let's see what he can do in this game. I do believe we're pretty much ready to go into it. I am excited for this one. It has to be said. When we've seen the games this week coming up, I sort of thought, Elevate against Obey. That'll probably be quite a simple one for Elevate. But this one, after last time we seen this between these two, was such a good game. Such a good game. So hopefully, for you guys in the chat who are maybe just here for the skins, you get to see a fantastic game. And this is how it is going to break down. Icebound is the first map we're going to see. Then we're going to see District. And if we need to, we will see Asylum. I'm going to go 2-1 Rated R. I think they can definitely take Icebound or District. And I like them on Asylum as well. As you said, though, they just seem to have that clutch factor up against Regal. But can Regal turn around this time? Can they maybe look at their mistakes that they made last time around? They were in the driving seat on Bunker, as far as I remember. I think you mentioned it before, too.
Yeah. 4-3 up.
They were very much there. Can they get it done? Blaze in the chat as well. Let us know, Blaze. What do you think this one's going to turn out as? Because we're pretty much unanimously in the casters and in the chat going with Rated R.
I had to like Phelps' prediction of 2-1 RR. Which RR, no one knows. But he'll be right either way.
He's a joker.
That third map.
He's a joker. Anyway. Moving away. We are getting ready to go into the game. I do believe we are ready to get into it. Rated R against Regal Reserve. This is one a lot of us have been looking forward to, as said. It's still hard, though. I'm saying Rated R could 2-1. This could very easily be 2-0 to Regal Reserve as well. But let's get into it. On board with Jack Reaction. Can he have a good game? If he can, Regal have got such a good shot.
That's it. Jack playing up on this pillar side of things. He's going to be the surveyor of the landscape, right? Leaving those 2 duos to fight it out elsewhere. And now Rated R, they've got a plan. They can definitely start to push around here. And they don't really care that Jack's shooting down on them, it seems. But they should have done. They really should have done, because it looks like Regal Reserve are the ones picking up all the kills here.
Shots going through. Jack just trying to offer the supporting fire as well, but you're very right. The kills going in Regal's favor. Oh my word, Dragons. Trying to kill a Reaction he really shouldn't have, but Cougar's there to answer the question. We'll get a hold of B, or with help from his teammate, get a hold of B eventually. Rated R momentarily not getting anything on the board, but a really nice opening for Regal Reserve.
Really nice indeed. You can see that point lead. It's definitely strong. Definitely looks like they've got a good start out of this one, and we should jump over towards that trading post, see what's happening there. Fractures getting kills here. Actually, last time I saw Cougars and Fractures on this map, they really did dominate this trading post back last quarter.
Post office,
very good in there. Post office, if you want to call it that. You can call it whatever you want. I've heard some very questionable names about this one in scrims, so post office is definitely up there on the list.
I mean, is anybody else called the post office, or was it just me?
It's just you, mate. It's just you.
I was hoping I was trying to start a trend, you know. Anyway. Stalemate here over towards the trading post, not post office. Shots going to come through.
There you go.
Yeah, well, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Salvage
as well.
Salvage room, if you want to call it.
Lots of people drop it though here. And that's a lot of members of Rated R going down. Regal Reserve getting the better of them in round number 1. I think that's going to be it. Physics should be able to capture this without any questions, unless something else is going on the other side of the map. The elimination will actually take on through before they get a chance. That's a round on the board for Regal. Rated R are typically a team who do like these round number 1s. Engagements, make sure you make the push and go from there after you win your first gunfights, but in the end, it's going to be Regal Reserve to take away the first round. A big one out of Physics there. 3 kills, 4 assists. Pretty much involved in every single kill. Good start by Regal, and let's see what's going to get locked in. I imagine that's probably going to get mirrored. A flash is coming in either side. Oh, not quite.
Close enough. Close enough.
There or thereabouts. It just depends where you want to make this fight, I suppose. It's interesting to see who's actually going to pick them up, and then where do they go from there.
Yeah, we can keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
We can keep an eye on that, that's for sure. Flashbang's going to come in anyway off those loadouts, and Payne's forced all the way back so quickly. And Rated R, they're trying for this mid play again. And it's definitely something they've crafted. You can tell this is a little bit of a different play. Regal Reserve, they are getting to that center post very quickly. And each time, Rated R just backing off, getting themselves out. Payne's is going to fall here. No retake attempt, no revive attempt coming out at all there from Rated R. Happy just to let him die out. And now Dragon is trying to get himself back into a safe spot behind the cover.
Trying to get away as the control does belong to Rated R, but Regal Reserve are posturing here over towards B. They jump in and somewhat sacrifice Cougars. Jack has to move over. He's in a sticky spot. Rated R actually might push here. The flash comes through, and look at them flying forward. Pains and Dragons combining well. And a couple of kills coming in their favor. Slays in though. Unfortunately, he's going to take down Dragons and let them fall into the ice, if you like. But thankfully for that play coming out of Rated R, they will keep control of B. They will stay in control of the round. Fractures, though, been so impressive for this Regal Reserve team the past couple of weeks, has to be said. Can't find much there, just butters them up as they go in towards the trading post, and they will have to back on down and will have to concede that position. It's going to allow Fractures and Co to make this push over towards C. He's going to get into some cover as well. Good shots on the Strikers too. We'll have to get his teammate up there in a bad spot here. The decap at least does come on through though, and they are actually surviving here. If they can find the kills, it would be massive, but Pains and Co will combine, and Pains himself just finding the kills. But once again, Regal Reserve are there to answer back. Can they find anything else? Pains is going to have to back on down. But he found 2. Really nice work by him. Might have just shut that push down, but the push was there to try and slow down the pressure over towards B, but Regal couldn't get anything over towards that side. C is back in the hands of Rated R. They also have control of B. Well done from Rated R. They hold on to this one. Pains is still going. That's 3 kills. Make it 4 in a row. Drops down Physics. Won't be able to clean it up, but the damage may have already been done. The push comes through once again from Cougars, who finds 2 himself. Regal Reserve starting to heat up in this round here through, but is it a little bit too late?
I mean, they're definitely down on points, that's for sure. Whether it's too late, I'm not too sure on that one. Really depends on if they can get these kills. If they can get a couple of kills, they might be all right, but Slays in, having none of it, gets that headshot on Physics. Now Cougar's trying to make the play for his team. He's going to get taken out here, and I expect we're going to go to a 1-1, but there are a few members of Regal Reserve still up, still fighting. In the end, Zorkos gets taken out, Jack gets taken out, and I think they're just going to concede this one in the end. I think it's going to go the way of Rated R, and they are going to tie it up with that elimination victory. It's going to go to 1-1 now.
Don't waste your lives. 1-1, as said, elimination comes through. 2 long rounds to kick things off. If you are going to see the quick rounds, typically they are at the start, of course, with the long respawn time, as Cougars currently sitting at the top of the leaderboard for Regal Reserve. Nice to see him having a good game as well. He's been very strong for this squad. Retro Lancer coming through, and that's something we have seen from Regal on a couple of occasions. It's something that comes out every now and then. But the shock coming in there for Rated R, what would you rather have for? I mean, for me, I'm always thinking utility, and that's mostly because my shot's bad. But don't tell anyone. But the utility there is always something that can completely turn the tide of a fight. Whereas, you know, it depends where this retro goes, but I don't know. Let's get these initials either way.
What they go into, and you know what the teams are good with the retro. You know, we'll get that upgrade eventually, and the shot grenade is often something that gets left at that point, right?
Yeah, that's very true.
To start building another tree. So It really depends where the teams go after this. I love the shot grenade. I don't love it on this map, to be honest with you. I think it's one of the wider, more open maps. But you know, in the end, the domination is going to come out. It's well placed. No one's able to get a touch there, and Rated R are going to take that second round. But yeah, back to my point. I feel like this is a very, very open map, and the shot grenade, it can't shut down routes as easily as it can. You know, with the likes of Asylum as an example up on that top bridge fight.
Yeah.
However,
it's so influential there.
A well-placed shot on a ring, on an opening to a ring, it's still enough to force a fight here. And there's that upgrade I was talking about.
Yeah.
So the upgrade comes through on the Rated R side. The long shot comes out. On the other side of things, though, you can see Regal Reserve, they are starting to now build that second tech tree. So, you know, they're a placement ahead. They might get to that second weapon a little bit quicker. And there'll be a couple of rounds where, you know, they really do have an advantage here. But that long shot, you can't discount it. A headshot here or there can shut down an entire play.
Well, the long shot in. Can they make use of it, though? The only time we've really seen the long shot used so well, I would say, was for Regal. And let's see what Strikers can do for Rated R with it here. We've seen Physics really go off for his team against Rated R last time these two met. And this is the thing. If you're not finding shots with this, you're not really doing a lot for your team. Strikers is currently a passenger. Tries to look for the shot on the Jack, but not going to be able to find it. But this big fight over towards Trading Post is where it's at. Pains and Slays and going down. Dragons and Marsh trading, though. Dragons is going to be clean up one at the Fractures as well. Can he be there for the second? Not quite. Marsh is going to go down to Zorkos, who will be able to find the revive on Cougars. Dragons is there to try and find two here if he can. Is going to go down. No, not enough shots landing. And there you go. Trading Post in control of Regal, but B looking like it may go over towards Rated R here.
Should do. Should do. That's a great kill by Slazin and doesn't get taken out either. Two members of Regal behind. Trying to get the wrap shot. Doesn't get anything, but gets the second shot. Very, very nice there by Slazin. His movement's always crisp and his shots always hit. Fractures does fall as well to Pains, and Rated R now looking to put the squeeze here on Regal Reserve. Wrong weapon out there, Slazin. That's a Lancer, my friend. You want the Nasher. As he's trying to get the second shot. Does get taken out in the end. The whole of Regal Reserve coming off spawn. But the domination is what's going to count here. Rated R, they're going to lock it in. A very, very nice round from them. Just under 2 minutes.
Yep. Very nicely done. They force them away, get a couple of kills in, and then just have the right members at the right places across the map. 3-1 now. That's a nice lead for them at the half. Of course, we will now change positions now. Moving up towards that trading post. And having the two home hills move over to Market and Radio. Will this change the fortunes of Regal Reserve? They've been in it, has to be said. It's been close rounds.
It has. There's incendiaries coming out now for Cougars as well. Shot grenade and incendiaries now on the field for them. And this is where it starts to get a little bit dicey if you are Rated R. Incendiaries coming flying from any angle. Can do a lot of damage if they do connect. And especially if you are Marsh on that pipe. Slightly overthrown by Cougars, actually. And Strikers just finally get that long shot. And I like that, actually, from Rated R. They're using that as a fallback option. They try and fight it off to begin with, and then in the end go back. And now, when things settle down a little bit, perhaps now the long shot is something they can use to open the tides as he looks for a headshot.
Is the pressure enough here, though, with this long shot for teams to be wary of it? That's the thing. Regal Reserve right now are being wary of it. They aren't picking anything up. It's just the threat of having your face ripped off. Suppose you don't want to be that first kill. That does go down. Nothing quite ticking on through, and that's this little moment we sometimes have in rounds of escalation where nobody really wants to make the first move. Regal Reserve on a nice spot close up, but Rated R are there to counter it quite effectively. They're expecting Regal to try and make the push. Here come the smokes. And that's going to be from Rated R. They should be able to jump onto this one. They can do. They have the sniper watching over. This should be a Rated R capture over towards E. There is a shot grenade on there, though. They will have to back on down. So I'll counter by Regal. Game of chess happening here. I'll tell you what, though. Strikers has brought a sniper rifle to this chess fight.
So, isn't it? Slight
and he will have to back on down. Yeah, he has to back down. Can't really find anything. Neither team able to find the gap yet. That one not connecting. Rated R have chosen just to sit back on this one.
Yep. Yeah,
the tick belongs to Regal, so technically they're the ones that are going to win in 145 seconds if nothing changes, but looking like eventually Rated R are going to get a hold of E, but here come Regal. The push has to come in from them now. They know Rated R in the middle of nowhere. Marsh is going to find one under Fractures. Pains finds one under Cougars as well. All the kills coming in favor of Rated R here, and a team kill coming in for Regal. Nicely done by Rated R. So patient. They get it done where it matters, though. The engagements don't come for quite some time, but when they come, they go into Regal. Rated R's favor, I should say. 3 seconds this domination ticks in. This round was so close for so long. And just like that, Rated R are 1 round away from winning map number 1.
Just turned it on its head, didn't they? Just one kill, one little play, and you saw the rotation coming around before it to bring that smoke grenade all the way over. And in the end, they lock it in, and that's the force. That's the force that they needed to play. They need to try and find it. Incendiary grenades now dropped on the side of Rated R. Expect those to be used and to the full extent in this fight, in this mid-fight still. Looks like Swarm are hovering a loadout option here. It's going to be an extra utility grenades going down for Zorkos, so perhaps another flashbang coming in for him.
Do you think Regal are respecting this long shot too much?
I mean, he's not hit a headshot with it yet.
Exactly.
He hasn't even hit a shot with it from what I've seen, so yeah, perhaps a little bit too much. Perhaps you change your grenade loadout options up a bit as well, and you opt for maybe one extra smoke, but what you do get from that is actually you can see Rated R, they're not playing for that long shot off the initial, which means the flashbangs are still needed to stop Rated R getting full control of the mid. It's only when things are slowing down that the snipe comes into play, so it's difficult to to load out against that kind of play. And it's a good incent by Marsh as well to get a kill through the end. Physics should die as well here. He's going to get crossed in the back, but he's managed to get one. He's managed to get two. Physics, what are you doing? There's a headshot from Strikers. But in the end, it's Physics again.
How
the big plays.
They can't let that happen. There is a team kill comes in there in the midst of it. That's why he actually manages to get out, but...
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not for long. Strikers was considering it. No, he will find one. There we go. Maybe not respecting enough this round. They're allowing them to find the angles. They can now push in and get control of trading posts, and here we go. They should be Rated on now, getting the control that they need, but they have 2 men dropped here. Jack is going to find the kill on the Dragons mid-map as well. Strikers has to be careful. They can't quite get a hold of E there. They might do just a little bit later than expected. But there we go. Rated out in control now.
They are indeed. But Regal still having a lot of points to their name. About 20 points up or so, 30 points up. They have got time to make a play here, and you can see this play now formulating around this home hill, this Rated R home hill. Trying to push in through a very, very small choke point. Grenade going to come out and open things up. Just yet. You can see the push. They're trying to force it. This is too much. We talk about forcing plays in Gears, and sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes you have to. You take a few shots, you go down, your teammate revives you, and the play still continues. But through that play there, through that choke point, that was too big of a force, and it's just not a natural victory. But this is a natural victory.
They're going to pay for it. Yep, they're really going to pay for a Rated R. Yep, very comfortable on Icebound. 5-1 will be the score. We promised a good game. Last time these two played, though, it was 5-1 victory for Regal Reserve in map number 1. And then the next two went all the way to round number 9. So, there's still time for this one to develop into a classic. But either way, a Rated R looks so good on Icebound. I doubt we'll be seeing that one again. They were patient. When they found the kills, they made the most of that situation. I think that's important. They always seem to, don't they? When they find a flurry of kills, they always get something for it. Whereas some teams, I mean, I don't want to bash on Obey because it's not their game, but so often we see with Obey, they'll maybe make the kills. And that, I just want to explain the sort of the difference that I see is that Obey sometimes, if they find a flurry of kills, they don't get anything for it. There's nothing there to show for these kills. Whereas Rated R, they always make sure they count. That's 1-0 to them. A very, very convincing win on Icebound. Regal Reserve, not the races there at all.
No, definitely not. It's obviously not their map.
No.
But as you said, it's not over yet, right? It's definitely similar to how the first series between these two teams kind of opened up, and we thought at the same point, that series, okay, probably going to be a 2-0, probably going to be a quick one, and it came out to be one of the best series yet. So it's up to Regal Reserve now to really step it up as we go into this next map. District is that next map, and it could be a very interesting one. But we did say during that pick and ban, Chris, that this was rated R favored. It was 2 bans that Regal picked that they're now playing. It's always going to be tough times when that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, look, you can maybe look towards them having obviously the new roster with Jack in there. Maybe as times went on, maybe they've been scrimming these maps and it's look good. We don't know what goes on in their scrims, etc. So maybe it's something like that they've lent towards. But they're going to go over towards District next. Last time we seen them play this, did they beat Obey on it in the very, very close rounds? But of course, that was in week number 1. So how much do you want to lean into it?
I wouldn't. It's kind of my theory on that one.
Yeah.
I think this is a different beast, right? This really is a different beast, and we've seen both teams perform very, very well on District, but never really against one another, which is kind of the interesting thing.
Yeah, and that one over quicker than any of the maps between Elevate and Obey. So if I've unfortunately sold you a complete lie here, I'm not trying to. This really should be a very, very close game, but rated all look great on Icebound. I think as far as I'm aware, they have done the whole of the EU GS Pro League. As far as I'm aware, I think they've looked very, very good. You'll probably have some sort of stats up in front of you there, but every time I've heard them play Icebound, they've looked good.
Yeah, they look great on Icebound, and I think it's one of the reasons people ban it out against them. They're a solid team on it. They're very good at the openings. You saw they had a very unique play style on it as well, dropping that long shot. We talked about it in game a little bit, but let's touch on that a little bit now as we wait for the second map. It was definitely something that you don't see a lot of teams doing here. A lot of teams do build up towards that shock, towards that incendiary, to try and find those opening kills and try and find quick picks off the bat, shut down routes, try and find a numbers advantage. Opposite of that, Rated R, they play it with base grenades. They go in with their flash, they go in with a bit of utility off spawn, and they try and fight it, pretty much against the odds. And as soon as it doesn't work out, as soon as they realize that, okay, the other team, they've managed to get into that trading post quick, or they've managed to get control of that mid pipe quick, they back out quick and they set up a defensive line because it's so easy to defend that neutral hill from that raised position behind them on the rock face that they don't need to pressure that too hard. They don't need to worry about those incendiaries or shot grenades cutting them down if they're so far back, which gives them time to pick up that long shot and try and find picks with it. It's a nice strategy. It's a nice way to play the map, and it's definitely something different. We don't see that too often.
Yeah, and it's nice to see something different as well. It's sometimes the case of every single week we come into it and it's like, oh, flash down, all right, okay, into the shock, into the incense, etc., etc. And it sometimes can be a little bit repetitive, so it's nice to see some different changes coming on through. Something that is going to be different, though, this weekend coming up, Gridiron Tournament. We're excited for that one.
Oh, yes.
I know. I'm mega excited. I really want to, I know there's been a couple of tournaments here and there, of course, being played competitively, but it's nice to see the first official one come out. And of course, if anybody in the chat hasn't seen, that you can actually pick up the best skin I've seen in Gears so far, full stop, unquestionable, the Wyvern Lancer skin. If you enter the tournament, of course, at live.gears world. Oh, no, sorry, it's on player.gg.gears, something like that.
Other way around. Play.gears.gg.
There you go.
Had the words just wrong.
I was half there. If you guys want to find out when you can get that, you can go to the articles website, side of things on egl.tv and have a look to how you do get that one. But basically, you have to enter the tournament, play a game before the 26th of April, and you can get yourself that Wyvern skin by the end of April. I'm making sure I do it because it is the best skin I've seen so far. Honestly, though, I will be hitting up the coalition and just seeing if they can put it on my account at the same time.
Yeah, with the rest of the skin set as well, because it's beautiful.
And I'm not
more than just the Lancer. But yeah, it's definitely something people should be getting involved with. I know we've had about 50 or so teams involved in the ladder. Obviously, we'd like to see that many involved in the OLT as well, in the tournament. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of potential in this game mode, and we're between us, we're very excited to get on board with it and push Gridiron within the European scene.
100%. I'm very, very excited for Gridiron. Very, very excited to see how it develops. And of course, we will be trying to cover that as best as we can over the weekend. I'm sure you'll be jumping into some games. I know what you like. You love spending your weekend watching Gears of War. So, what else is there to do at this moment in time, to be honest?
That's it. I've got more time than ever to do this. So it works well for me. It works well.
Loads of time. So we'll figure out what's going to happen there next week, of course. So make sure you do keep an eye on that one. I said, if you haven't signed up, please do give it a go. And even if you aren't a competitive Gears player, then maybe it's something that you could try your hand at least anyway. So anyway, back to this one. It is 1-0 to Rated R. Regal Reserve need to bounce back here. But as I said, last time these two teams played, it was 5-1 to Regal in map number 1. And then it went on to be 2 round 9 wins for Rated R in the next 2 maps. So this one is far from done. District and Asylum coming up next. I think Regal forced map 3 here. I don't know.
You do?
Just got that.
I'd like to see it, to be fair. I would like to see it. And we have seen them have very good performances on District. And, they're a team that have got grit. They bounce back. They've been down maps many times before in, in their kind of Gears history and their Gears careers, so to speak. And they definitely know how to bounce back. They are resilient as a team. So, yeah, definitely not out of the question to see this. They just need to be opening up a little stronger and taking those initial fights. Because, as you said, Rated are very, very quick to capitalize. But they didn't really need to do much in that last game. They kind of just took a victory after every fight. Obviously, there's the stats, though, Chris. We see a 100% win record for both of these teams. Rated are looking a little bit stronger. 83% of rounds going their way. 56 on the side of Regal. But both teams a positive record.
Well, here we go, then. Can Regal Reserve turn this one round? What we're saying? Are we seeing a map 3 here?
I mean, I'm going to stick strong. I've got faith in Regal to turn it around here and bring it back. After the first game, everything in my heart saying no, Rated R will secure this and go 2-0. But realistically, I think we'd be silly to count Regal out. And they had a very, very good showing last time around. So hopefully they can bring it back here and force that map 3.
Start of the round has been kind of Regal, though. They do have B, but nobody has anything else right now. But they are the only ones getting points on the board. They will back on down, keep a hold of B, and get their home hill. Zorkos will be a casualty on the way, though. Eventually picked up by Slazen. And now the push over towards A comes in. Kugas has dropped here as well, and that's a situation you can't let happen. Needs to stay alive as long as he can. Now A and C is going to belong to Rated R. And this is a classic setup we do see on this map. The home hill hold. B does belong to Regal Reserve, though. Maybe they can work on that. Just need to get their home hill back, and they'll be in a good position. Right now, very, very low-scoring game. Striker's looking to find some picks, but Regal Reserve ready to make this move over towards it. You'd imagine it's going to be on the back of a flash. 2 members are Rated R. You'd like to think I'm probably going to have to back on down here. Just waiting for this engagement through. Here it goes. Flash out. Players in.
That's it. Here goes Kugas, trying to push his way in. Doesn't get anything, though, for it. Dragons. A lovely gib there. Zorkos falls on the other side as well, so the B hill is going to go the way of Rated R, and now Fractures has to defend with his life. Talking of life, he's going to lose it here very, very quickly, and this should be a domination. Physics nowhere near. He's going to have to take a 2v1 to keep in this one. Tries to bounce his way through, but a headshot is going to come through and secure that one. Rated R. They are definitely looking good as they open up this one 1-0.
Yeah, I was about to say it. Looking very, very good, Rated R. Regal Reserve don't seem to have much of an answer at times yet. Hopefully they can step it up, but that's a good first round for Rated R. Regal Reserve went very B heavy there and then a push towards the home hill, so do they choose to go with the same tactic? Loadouts coming through for both these two teams. No surprises there. Hopefully helping with these initials. I just want to see the Cinema drop shot. Get it in there. Get sticky.
We might see it. We might see it, yeah. I know a lot of teams like to force that Cinema fight once the first half ends, just to kind of keep things up there. But before then, it's quite risky to put it down because you can just rotate it so quickly to those info rooms after a one fight that any home hill push is very easily shut down by the other team. It's kind of a very high risk, high reward situation. That's a good kill by Slazen.
Yeah, that was a big gunfight. Slazen now going to be able to get a hold of B. Chooses not to, though. Wants to help his team as the big push over towards the home hills comes through. Nice movement by Marsh, though. Going to find one. Will clean up the second as well with the help of Physics. This is a big gunfight as well. Fractures could do with finding something. Bouncing around, not landing very much. ANC now under control of Rated R. They may be able to get a hold of B here as well. Dragons is going to drop, though, on the overextension. Kugas needs to go. He needs to go now. The domination about to tick on through. Will it tick on through? Not quite. They get there just about in time. Pains is going to have to pack on down. Well played by Regal.
Yeah, very well played. It was reaction coming out there. Just got his big toe in that ring and stopped that tick up. And in the end, they get another kill for it as well. So that's actually a big swing in momentum here in this round as Regal, they look to try and secure their first one here as Physics gets a kill on Marsh as well. And he's C now behind the whole of Regal Reserve. Managed to capture that C ring and now back to the A hill. The focus goes. Kugas leading that charge. No surprise there as he's going to push forward, get the decap here. Rated R. They're setting up a defense. Kugas got to get out with his life. Not going to go down. That's a good movement here, but jumps back in to try and get the cap. He's getting blocked by Zorkos. And no one else able to get the tap. Rated R, they're just getting the tap here. Stop this domination coming through. The first kill will be big, and that's the one on Marsh. But reaction falls, so now a 4v4 situation. And you can see on that minimap, over towards the B hill, you can see goes one lone member of Rated R. They're going to trade hills here. They're going to let Regal Reserve have their home hill because they know they've got B in their sights. And for now, that's enough. That's enough to keep them in the game. The points are pretty even. All they need to do is just now wait for everyone to come off spawn and set up that line once again. You can see, here you go. Here's Strikers trying to push forward, trying to get a little bit of control of this map. They were in a bad situation, Ton, and they've done well to get themselves out of it, all off the back of a 1v1 fight.
Yeah, and honestly, really well played by Strikers. I like that from him. Sometimes you get tunnel vision where it's towards every single member of Regal Reserve are already pushing your home hill. Make sure you just sort of split away, get a hold of that B, just make sure that domination can't tick through if your team does lose the fight. It's just about contingency plans through. Well played there by Strikers. Kept his team in it. Either way, though, Rated R are going to get A back, and Regal Reserve are maybe going to stay a little bit too long. Will get picked apart there. Rated R win condition is on the board. 45 seconds now for them. Marsh, though, putting shots in, trying to do what he can to try and secure this round. Jack is there to try and answer back to that. Can Regal Reserve find anything here? They are going to get a hold of B. They will force Rated R away. Physics is going to drop, though. This is good flank from Jack, though. I like this from him. Is he going to make the push? Isn't able to. The rest of his team dropping down over towards B. That win condition momentarily with Regal Reserve. It will change over towards Rated R. Potentially domination ticking on through here. Fractions needs to win this gunfight. Will push through. Does have Jack with him as well. This is still going to be a Rated R win condition. They need to push through somewhere. You feel as if A is what's in their sights.
Yeah, they've got one last attempt here. They really have. They've got to push across both sides of the map. You can see now the push comes through. Fracture's going to be the first one out. Just should get the kill here. Just get the kill on Strikers, so the A hill should be decapped. The B hill on the other side of things looks to be going the way of Rated R, though, as they do lock that one in. A 2-0 victory now. Rated R going up, taking the lead. And that was just good allocation there from Rated R. They knew they had to win one of those fights, and they did.
Yeah, that's all they need to do. They clutch up where they need to. 2-0 to Rated R now. Let's see. Any different placements coming out of Regal? Nothing seems to be going their way here. So close, but so far. Here we go. There it is.
You asked for it. You've got it.
I did. I love a cinema drop. Drop shot in there. And it's because it's so close. It's 15 million flashes go in. Whoever isn't blind first usually wins it. Let's see.
Someone might get a shot off at some point.
God.
There's one, there's two, there's three.
He's just picked it up, he just went for it. Pains is a lunatic.
Oh, I tell you what, that's a good description if I ever heard one.
Good lord. All right. I mean, he's just run in. Plenty of fights going on. And he's just went, sod it. We'll pick it up.
I mean, you know, he's got faith in his team to land those flashes perfectly, quite obviously. And land them they did. They were really well placed.
Lovely stuff from Pains. And the thing is there, it's sort of like no risk, no reward, isn't it? You get a hold of the drop shot. Even if you go down, pop a shot off instantly. And that's it. If you go down, you still have the opportunity to, you know, you're taken away from what the other team potentially could get.
That's it.
I like that from Pains. Very aggressive, very stupid, but very smart. Big brain plays.
That's it, isn't it? That's it. Sometimes, yeah, the dumbest looking plays are the best ones. And
catching them.
You got to make them. You got to make them at the end of the day. And actually, talking of plays, quick stat for you, Chris.
Go on, mate.
I'm sure you'll like this one. Strikers in game one had a 7.33 KDA.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, that's very, very good. 22-3. Yeah, it was pretty damn impressive.
Strikers having a very good quarter.
Yep.
Rated R having a very, very good quarter. There's the other drop shot coming out. Cougars is going to go down. Dragons, not only an absolute crackhead when he moves forward with the shotgun, can land those drop shots. Now, Regal Reserve are the ones that have to make a move. So Rated R posted up inside of Info, I do believe. It's the secondary fight for the drop shot, though, that they're looking for. Regal Reserve all dropping. Cougars down to 0 respawns. Oh, is this the winter quarter? What's going on? Regal Reserve really not performing well here, has to be said. Rated R just looking so good. Cougar's down once again. Drop shot in Rated R's hands once again.
Yeah. Sorry, I just don't get that play by Cougars. Why on 0 lives are you staying, allowing yourself to get put in a 2v1 situation, right? That's an easy kill for Pains. He ain't gonna get many easier ones than that. Maybe that one, as he gets a kill on both Physics and Jack. A teabag coming out as well.
Letting them know.
That's it. Bit of bravado coming out from Rated R.
Yep, 3-0.
They wanted to secure this one with style, and it looks so far like they're doing exactly that. They've definitely prepared for this.
Regal Reserve just not shooting back at the moment. That's the problem. They're losing all these engagements, and that is making the difference. And it's Rated R's playing ground, isn't it? It's the sort of thing they love to fight, which is just fight in general. These big team fights coming through, they love to get amongst it, and I mean it's showing. 3-0 to them now, 2 rounds away from making this a relatively easy game. Stranger things have happened though. Regal Reserve definitely have it in their locker to come back here through.
Yeah.
Do with getting a hold of this drop shot first, I'll tell you that. The first one's there, the flashes come through. Who's going to get a hold of this one? It does often dictate how the round goes. Fight going down. Cougar's going to find the first kill. That's an important one. They have priority, and if you're Rated R, you have to back on down. It's a good kill by Pains. He isn't going to be able to be dropped, but Rated R still here, Sting just about clinging on. Cougars gets a hold of the drop shot, gets out as well. Just run. Physics drops 2. Physics finds 2. They get the drop shot. Not going to quite get a hold of B, but the damage is done. Rated R pinned back. Regal Reserve with the first good start of the round.
Yep, it was indeed. I think Cougars with that drop shot as well didn't waste a shot in that fight. Had full confidence in his team to clean that up. So still 2 shots in that drop shot remaining for these next couple of fights, and that's big for Regal. That could put you in a good place. A 3-1 at the half. You know, it's not insurmountable. It's not too bad. We saw Rated R win 5 in a row with the last map. It's not out of the bounds, you know, to win 2, 3, 4 in a row here for Regal either. And that drop shot could be the first key to opening that door. Maybe get themselves around on the board here.
Cougars are cut. Quite happy to set up, and this is the problem for Rated R. You've got a drop shot to run into. You've got to get up the cover as well. But they've done a great job at that. Oh my word, is this currently a domination ticking in for Rated R? How the hell have they managed that? The kills coming in for Fractures, and Zorkos though is going to momentarily back Rated R down. B in the hands of Regal 2. They should still have something left on this drop shot, do they? Or has Cougars wasted both of them?
Should have had 1 shot left. Should have.
I've only heard 1 pop off so far. Maybe he doesn't want to waste it on 1. They are going to get C back and still have the lead as well. Strikers should be dead is dead.
Perhaps they'd waste it whilst we were, not on it.
I mean, it would have been a good position to use it just to solidify your home. No, he still has it. Just picking his moments. Rated R though, still on the back foot here.
I think it's wise to keep hold of it as long as possible.
Yeah,
you can use that then to retake the next one, right? And you can see the teams, they're trying to find it here. They're trying to push through. You can see Rated R.
Oh,
there's the drop shot coming out. That's exactly what you wanted. And now 5v3 situation. New drop shot coming up in a second. He should be able to get the ammo. That's the ammo in pocket now. So 2 more shots, and that's perfect there from Regal Reserve.
Much, much better. C and B belonging to them. Paints on 0 respawns. Marsh on 0 respawns. They will obviously be reset after this round. Marsh pushing forward. They need to be aggressive. They need to do something here to win this round. They know the drop shots in the back pocket of Regal Reserve. Marsh will be seeing in the next half.
It was. Cougars gets taken out.
Yeah. Cougars is down. Zorkos is going to find one, though. This should be it. Pains. Nothing currently ticking in for either team right now. It still should be a Regal Reserve round. Pains is going to go down. They just need to get a hold of C here, really.
I think if you're Regal, you just flash someone towards the B.
Yeah, just go somewhere else.
Forget this fight.
Because right now, Cougars is gone. Alright, surely this should be it now. Slazen is going to get taken down. That should be it. As Regal Reserve eventually push forward. Getting a little bit scary there.
A little bit scary. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It was just the fact that Jack was also on 0 respawns. If he goes down, it's only a 4v3. You win one big team fight if you're rated R, and, well, suddenly it would have been doable, but Regal do get on the board either way. I think there will be a little bit of frustration after that one.
Yeah. It was a lot longer of a round than it needed to be, right? With
much
4
longer.
shells, double kills across the board. It was a bit risky, but they got it. They sorted it. They came through right in the end and then took the round. So Regal now, not a bad place to be in at the half. Obviously, you would prefer to be the opposite side. You'd prefer to be rated R in this scenario, but could have been worse. Could have been 4-0, and now they still play for that drop shot, and they know they've won it once, so potentially will win it again. Cougar's trying to get himself into that pocket now. Does pick up that drop shot. Is going to drop the Nasher for it as well. So if he gets caught out, bad times for him. The revive should come through. No, Fractures gets taken down in the end, and there's a drop shot in hand here. This should be dropped for rated R. They should be able to pick that one up. That, my friend, is disappointing if you're Regal Reserve.
Yeah. Oh,
That's more disappointing if you're Jack Reaction.
Caught with your pants down. And that is that. Very, very quick round, which started off relatively decent for Regal. They got what they wanted. Suddenly turned right on its head. 4-1 now, rated R, 1 round away from making this look very, very easy. Not what we're expecting at all.
No, definitely not. But, rated R, they've shown up. And if they want to, secure that top spot, they've got to beat everyone in front of them. And Regal, another team in front of them, last time made rated R look human. They made rated R look beatable. Rated R trying to prove them wrong this time around, trying to make sure that they, cement it properly. They don't want to just get by, right? They don't want to just eat their way through the competition. They really want to make a meal of it. They really want to make sure that they look to be the #1 team and not look to have just kind of looked their way through. So 2 5-1s back-to-back would be a good stamp.
Here we go then. Regal Reserve, it's do or die. Flashes come through. A late one from Dragons. Is going to get caught rolling up. Cougars will find him there, but Pains has dropped to a shot grenade from the side of rated R. This should be a drop shot for Regal. Cougars a little bit too weak to grab it. Not quite. His drop should be picked back up, but here comes Marsh. He's going to get dropped as well. Regal Reserve will get out with it just about. Strikers is going to find that final kill. Did they get out with it?
It's on the floor.
There it is.
It is on the floor. Should be all right for Zorkos. Zorkos usually pretty good with these weapons, right? He
agreed.
Makes use of this drop shot very, very well. So I'm expecting good things to come out.
Doesn't want to maybe waste it over towards bandstand. That is a good down. Pains is going to find Jack. Flash going to come through. Going to get aggressive as well. Zorkos, drop shot in hand. Doesn't want to lose this fight. Needs to stay alive here. He's going to be very, very careful. He's going to get pushed. He's being left all alone by his teammate as well.
Smart decision.
Yeah, has to back on down. I'm surprised they've let him back on down. Obviously, they mustn't know who does have a hold of the drop, but Cougar's going to bleed out as well as Fractures going down right at R. For all that they don't have this drop shot, do have control of D&E.
They do. And then a little bit of a point lead here for Regal, but it's going to be taken over by rated R ever so shortly. But now, with that drop shot in hand, it should be a little bit easier to try and force a play across. And you can see the push is coming across. It looks like they're going to try and play Holmes here. Going towards that cinema side and maybe queuing up here. Cougars doesn't know there's someone behind him. Pains, very, very sneaky. Has managed to find a kill there. And we saw it on the minimap, but realistically, that's another great kill from Pains. And Matt's off to the other side of the races here as we see Strikers get a little bit of a fight there with Fractures. Fractures just get 2. A headshot to his name as well. Marsh now queuing for that drop shot. Knows that time is about to come up.
Zorkos still not investing in this at all, and gets to the point now where you may be taking your time with it too much, unless he has invested it and I just haven't seen or heard it. No, it's out, you can see. He does still have that in the back pocket as well. It'll be a useful tool to use to make sure that Radar don't get a hold of it. There it is. We'll send it in. That will still be on the floor, but need to win the occurring fight that comes after it. Jack is there to find one, but he may be the last one to go down. He is going to be the last one to go down. Dragons will clean up. The elimination was taken on through, not quite in time. Domination could be there though. Dragons choosing to leave the drop there. Goes for the decap, will back on down.
Should be a drop shot for him as well.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. It should be there.
Unless Mark Mark? Who's Mark? Bloody Mark. Marsh. Unless Marsh backpacked it. It should still be there. It might have disappeared. It doesn't matter. Either way, Swarm will win in just 10 seconds time, Kristen. Rated R looking to secure this one.
Looking to secure it indeed. Looking good for them as well. Jack is there to find one. Will not find much else. Cougars back to the respawn queue. Jack will eventually get a hold of D. Is there anybody who going on over towards E though? They're going down. They're dropped. They're done. Rated R. 5-1. 5-1 against Regal. We wondered whether this one would be a very close game like the last time round. Rated R say absolutely not. 5-1, 5-1 is as convincing as you would possibly like to see from the undefeated team currently in Europe in Rated R. That is a dominating performance against a good opposition. Regal Reserve maybe not at the races this week, but Rated R very much flying through this one. 5-1, 5-1 as said. That is surprising to me, but so impressive from Rated R.
Yeah, it really is impressive. They're looking to make their name known in this European Pro League. They look good at the LAN. They've looked good all the way through this. And they just got to continue it now for another 2 weeks, and they're going to secure themselves that #1 spot. They have looked flawless so far, and those 2 wins, they were just the icing on the cake. They're stepping up each and every week, and that was really, really good from them. Really, really good.
I can't wait to see them play Elevate again. I'm so excited.
It's going to be a
game.
treat. As I said, right? Yeah. It's literally the last game that we will see across the whole of the quarter. It's going to be the one that decides.
It's almost as if someone planned it that way.
It's almost as if someone looked at it and thought this might happen. But it's more impressive that it's actually going to mean something, right? I think that's the better thing. Yes, you can plan that first few seconds to kind of finish at the end for sure, but you just don't know going into it how close it's going to be and how much that match is going to mean. And if Elevate keep up this this trend of dominating their opposition, and they can get through one more game next week without dropping another map, it really is going to come down to that last game, and that's so exciting.
Yeah. Of course, we do have Elevate against Regal, who will be coming up next week. Disappointing from Regal Reserve this time around, but that's how the standings will lie now. They will be sitting comfortably in third, with Elevate extending that gap right now, and they will be comfortably second. Rated R, though, as said, undefeated at 4-0. OB Alliance 0-4 right now. Not looking good for them. They haven't looked great at all throughout the last 2 quarters. Hopefully, they can pick it up at some point, but either way, Rated R look like the best team right now. Elevate very much have improved since that first week. I didn't think that was their best performance by any stretch of the imagination. They will know that as well and will be looking for revenge against Rated R, as said, in the very last game of the spring quarter before we go on to the online major. But pretty comfortable victories for a couple of teams there this week through. 5-2, 5-3, 5-1, 5-1. We don't see a map number 3 for probably the first time this season.
So far.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, no map 3s this week, so that's a surprise. 8:30 finish, 2.5 hours. That's a pretty quick one this week.
That's it. It's in the bag, isn't it? It's over and done with. But I think that's testament to the top 2 teams. They're obviously putting the work in, and they're trying to just grow that gap between them and the bottom 2. They know it's going to come down to the last week, and they just got to make sure no one else puts a nail in that plan, or whatever the saying is. They got to make sure they get there first. I don't think that's right, but you get the sentiment. You know what I'm on about.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
They definitely need to make sure they're getting those wins in, and so far they are. So fair play to them, and just keep on going till we get to that week 6.
Yep. Keep it there. Keep it until the last moment, because we really would like a very exciting, meaningful game to end things before we go to the online major. As said, this weekend, though, is the Gridiron Tournament. Make sure you are signing up for that. That's going to be really interesting, so hopefully we can bring you some info on that over the weekend and next week, of course, when the finals, etc. are on. Very excited to see how that one pans out. Thank you very much once again for joining me across the internet. I miss seeing you person, though, mate. Honestly, it's again the only people I've seen. The only people I've seen in 3 weeks is my neighbour, my cat, and my wife. And I miss seeing you, Matt, every week, is all I'll say.
That's it. I miss seeing Matt too, so we're... No, I do miss you too. We'll get back to that studio at some point. It's
You know,
it's going to be one of those things.
Trying to be nice to my co-caster to end the night, but you know what? Screw you. Anyway, let's end it there. And with that note, very good weeks there for Rated R and Elevate, but the wars do continue for Obey. Regal Reserve need to turn it around as well. They looked so good so far, but that wasn't great. That wasn't great from them. They need to pick it up in the next 2 weeks is all we got left, actually. 2 more weeks of play for the EU Gears Pro League Spring Quarter. Don't miss it. Every single Monday at 6 p.m. BST. We'll see you next week.